Joining me now is Sabrina Tyndale from United Against Bullying Foundation. Sabrina, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And thanks for giving me a minute to clarify that as well. Didn't want to make people think something crazy is going on. But
yes.
Sabrina.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And we wanted to have you because today was orientation day for government primary schools. You know,
yes.
Starting next week, orientations and actually school will be in full swing as of next week. So obviously when we're talking school, you know, all the good things that come along with it, learning, you know, learning social skills, meeting friends, etc. But unfortunately, in today's day and age, we're also talking about bullying. Tell me a little bit about your organization and what you're trying to achieve.
Well, our organization was formed on January 24th.
Of this year?
2018.
Okay.
Yes, by 5 members and led by Janet Young, who is now the chairman of the United Against Bullying Foundation. Janet's son was a victim of continuous bullying in high school for quite some time. After seeing the effects of bullying and the behavior in her son, she decided to basically post on social media her concerns, and she got a lot of response, and basically myself was one of the persons who responded to her and says, you know what, it's a great idea, I want to get involved, what do I have to do? So we formed it. United Against Bullying Foundation was formally established as a non-for-profit organization of this year, May 2018.
Tell me a little bit about the effects of bullying. You had said the woman who kind of you know, spurred this idea and said, hey, let's get together to do something about this, had a son who was bullied. What are some of the effects? You know, if you have a child or just somebody you know who's in school who's being bullied, you know, what can that do to a child?
Well, what it can do for a child that is being bullied, they become depressed, they feel sad or alone, they lose interest in activity which they enjoyed, for example, football, health complaints, thoughts of suicide, their grades drop in school. Sometimes they don't want to participate in a class because they just feel
I mean, you wouldn't be happy. I mean, you just wouldn't be.
They're very sad.
You know,
they just want to be
being picked on.
Locked away.
Right. Who wants to raise their hand and speak up if you know that after class, you know, somebody's going to either tease you for it or possibly, you know, physical abuse. And it's a startling statistic, and I don't know the exact stat right off the top of my head, but the #1 cause of death in the United States for a certain young demographic, I want to say something from like 10-year-olds to 15 or something like that, is suicide.
Suicide.
And they think it's because of a rise in bullying in school. And not just, you know, I guess bullying in the traditional way that people think of it, but also because of social media, you have online bullying as well, which I think just kind of compounds the problem. So that being said, we know that this is a real problem. We know that it can have some real results in people's lives. What can people do to prevent bullying?
Well, what people can do to prevent bullying is to stand up and know that they're not alone in being bullied. They need to take action. Either start an anti-bullying club or prevention program, and if it's so intense, report it to the police or higher authorities. As parents, they need to look at their child, their behavior. It's different signs that you can see. Talk to their children. It's very important because a lot of times parents don't know that their children are being bullied.
Right.
Because their children don't say it, they're afraid, they're embarrassed. So I think and school needs to implement stricter rules for anti-bullying policies. I think it should be a zero-tolerance policy in the schools.
What would you, zero tolerance is in if you're found bullying somebody that you get suspended or something along those lines, or what do you think? What do you think would be appropriate?
Appropriate, they will, first, I think, get a warning letter, and then if it continues, a suspension should happen. And if it continues, then it will go on the child's record, which will have to be reported to the police. I think if we implement these, then maybe then the children would take it, you know what, I'm going to get in trouble. And a lot of time, bullies just don't become bullies overnight. They're getting bullied somewhere, whether it be at home or at school, and then their defense is to do it back by bullying.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe taking even a step further and looking at the root problem too is, you know, if there's domestic violence in a home, etc., or there's physical violence somewhere else, you know, that might be a reason why that child is acting out in that particular way. If people want to find out more about your organization or get involved, who can they reach out to? They
can email us. Our email address is unitedagainstbullying2018@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, is United Against Bullying Foundation, as well as they can find us on Instagram, United Against Bullying 345. Again, our email is unitedagainstbullying2018@gmail.com. Instagram, United Against Bullying 345. And our Facebook page, United Against Bullying Foundation.
Sabrina, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we've got a check from Wall Street. We'll be right back.